on this episode of Donald Trump is not handling his suspensions very well, we have a couple of stories that I wanted to lump together and talk about, and this was my last video for the night, so let's just jump right on in and have a little fun. First off, Facebook's little committee people, their little independent panel, literally kicked the ball back to Facebook and said that the suspension should last for 6 months and then they should review it, and Donald Trump absolutely should not have his platform right now, and it should be reviewed because he, lied, spread conspiracy theories, and caused a violent insurrection. Donald Trump and his supporters did not handle that very well. There were several politicians that weren't handling it very well, saying it was the end of free speech. But as we know, and as we've covered on this channel, free speech only applies to the government, meaning the government shall make no laws that impair, hinge, or stop free speech. Last time I checked, Twitter, Facebook, and all the other social media apps are not, how do I put this? They're not the government. They're private companies that can do what they wish with their platforms, and when you agree to their terms of service, you kind of have to, follow their terms of service. Even though Facebook and Twitter, Facebook specifically, Twitter, I'll get into that in a minute, did not follow that and did not fact check the president. In fact, they have a policy of not fact checking politicians, and they have a policy of letting their lies and rumors and stuff stand, and they're not held to the same standards, which I have an issue with Facebook. I think that that's a problem. Twitter also did everything they could to keep from banning Trump before the 6th. They, put those little warning labels on, but that was a joke. Nobody that believed in the conspiracy theories cared what Twitter put as a warning label. They were funny for people like me, but realistically they were a joke and they did no good. But when he finally did get banned, he did not handle it well. He first went on and tried to use he tried to use the presidential account. That didn't work. He tried to use some of his aides. That didn't work. He tried to use his daughter-in-laws on Facebook to get his message through. That did not work. And now we get to the funniest part of the story. We have from the desk of Donald J. Trump. So this is what was supposed to be his big media site, and it wasn't. It's literally just a blog that you can share on Twitter, and it's not even like a text form. It's like a link. You have to click on it, and then it takes you to the website of Donald Trump, or the desk of Donald Trump, and we are going to go through in the next couple of days, and we're going to read some of them, and we're going to look at the website, but today we're just talking about it and the story that it's leading into. But yeah, so that website doesn't allow you to interact. It only allows you to like and share, and you can't unlike once you like. So if you mistakenly like something, it's stuck. It's a way for Donald Trump to get praise and adulation from his supporters without them actually being able to respond, because he doesn't want people like me to tell him where to stick it. But the funniest part is when a Twitter account popped up that said "from the desktop of Donald J. Trump" and started taking those little snippets from his basically blog, started putting them on Twitter, and then when someone called them out on it, they're like, "This is not Donald Trump, we're just copying and pasting it and putting it online." It was his team's sad, pathetic way to try to work around the ban, and it was literally blocked before it was suspended before it had 4,000 followers, which was amazing. By the time I had heard about it, because I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, which some of you already know, it had already been suspended. Because again, they have a policy where if you try to work around, that account will be suspended and blocked as well. This was a desperate attempt from an irrelevant man to try and force his way back onto social media, because if he doesn't have social media, he can't inflict as much harm, and he can't get that constant praise and love that he so desperately thinks that he needs. This entire thing was a giant joke. And it was absolutely priceless to watch. But yeah, it was literally suspended within a few hours. And people are trying to say that it wasn't like somebody that was connected to Donald Trump, but it was. The even better part is, with that being suspended, it's a lot harder for him to get his message. They did a couple of polls and studies, and it showed that 70% of Trump supporters are not going to go to the desk of Donald Trump to receive their message. Their messages from him, it's just too much work, and only 30 would, maybe. And that was divided between, like, I think like 17% that would, and like 14 or 13% that said like maybe. So 70% of his own audience isn't even going to go to the desktop, or the desk of Donald J. Trump. So basically, he created a sad little blog that no one's going to read to get donations. That's what the 45th president has become. He was a laughingstock to begin with, but this is just pathetic. All right, guys, I will see you later.